All right, so this is long overdue. I want to do just a greenhouse construction video today, and I wish I would have done some more in progress videos. I've got some on YouTube, but when I was getting closer to the end of building it, I was really feeling the pressure to get it done before winter, and just kind of did the construction, finished it, and didn't do too many in progress updates. But I want to finally do one now, show everybody what's going on, and I'll try to fill in the gaps of how it became what it is, and the reasons why it's built like it is also. So this is the back side of it, and I'm up here. It'll make sense when I start explaining it, but my whole property is built on a hill. So the front of the greenhouse is directly south facing. There's the sun up there, and it's built on a hill, like I said. So I'll walk around here so you can see. So the road up there is like significantly higher than where we sit right now. And I plant a lot of stuff that I kind of take advantage of microclimates, plant stuff close to the house, south and west side. And a lot of stuff is really cold hardy that I plant, but I like to take advantage of any microclimates and any kind of help that I can get from structures, and being, you know, south facing, west facing, and the hill really helps that with a greenhouse. So I'll show you why. So up here's this is the back of the greenhouse here, and what I did was I dug down and built the greenhouse into the hill. So up here's the back wall of the greenhouse, and this is 5 feet higher than down in the front. So this was just a grass slope, and I dug all this out by hand and basically made, if anybody's familiar with like the term Wallapini or like a pit greenhouse, this was kind of the inspiration of that. Was I wanted to get as much help as I could from the ground, acting as like a solar battery, catching the sun with the rock walls, and then also just the ground in itself. Like if anybody's ever been to a cave, walked around in one, it holds a stable temperature all year round. So it holds like 50-55 degrees. So in the summer it has more of a cooling effect, and then in the winter, you know, when you dip down to freezing, that 55 degrees is actually a lot warmer than being you know, that freezing air. So I'm hoping that having these rock walls and having it buried, being a semi-pit greenhouse, will help to keep it warm. So I dug all this out by hand, like I said, and then I physically started building these rock walls. So this back wall to me is the most important one. So up at the top here, it's like 18 inches wide, but all the way down 5 feet down, the base of it is 3 feet wide. And I did that for strength, make sure this thing's gonna last forever, and also for that thermal battery reasoning as well. You know, the rocks are gonna store some energy from the sun, and then hopefully they'll transmit that back when it's really cold. So let's walk into the greenhouse. I'm not gonna go over any plants that I have in here right now. I'm just trying to do a construction video so you guys can see how and why I did a lot of this stuff. And we might come back outside to look at things again. Let's see, let's get in here. So there's that back wall. So now you can see where we're underground here. And what I did was while I was building the walls, I knew I was gonna have to put you know, more structure in here as far as framework. So you can see I mortared in blocks of wood that are almost as thick as the, or well, the piece of wood is as long as the wall is thick, minus you know, a piece of rock in the back, so it's all sealed in. But this is how I attached this framework to the rock wall, is that there's pieces of wood all the way down through here that the wood and then the metal structure is attached to. So on the sides here, all this framework is metal, and then it runs up and over. And this was this structure was an old like barn or outhouse type thing that somebody was selling on Facebook Marketplace, so I got it really cheap. And the bottom piece there, that this runner on the bottom that goes all the way here, it has pieces of metal that stick up that those posts slide down into. So I anchored all that together, and then you can see that angle clip right there is how it's anchored to the metal and then anchored into the rock wall as well, to those pieces of wood. But that was the initial construction, was build the rock walls and then put that metal framework up, and then everything else is just pieces of wood, you know, that I used. So the whole back wall, all that structure is all 2x4s, and then this this front construction as well, everything here is all 2x4s and 4x4s that I built, which actually this whole portion went up in just a weekend. I did all the metal work and all the wood framing, and on a Saturday with the help of one guy, and then we did the plastic on a Sunday and finished it all. So let's see what we can talk about while we're in here. So the windows, which is critical, I think we're gonna have to put in some more ventilation when we get to like next spring and then early summer. And I think it'll just be too hot to use in the summer here. And I do have a shade cloth that I plan on throwing over it when we get to that time, and I'll test it out and see. But if we're, you know, flirting with hundreds every day, it's just, you know, it's too oppressive. We can move everything out of here and just you know, grow outside and then move everything back in when the temperature starts to change again. But anyways, the windows that we do have, I built the framework and the window itself just made out of wood, used some little hinges, covered it with greenhouse plastic. But this is that like thermal expansion, automatic greenhouse vent window opener. So in this cylinder right here, this piston is like a beeswax mixture, I guess, and when it gets really warm it expands, and the piston will push up, and that's what actually opens the window up. And then when it gets cool in the evening and overnight, it contracts, and then that closes the window. So that's just really helpful. It's just something you don't have to really, you know, race down here in the morning and mess with, or, you know, race down here at night because, you know, you forgot, jump out of bed, you got to go close the windows. So that's just kind of something that one less thing that we have to do. But so in the front we've got that window, and then that window, and then in the back wall we've got windows up higher, that one there and that one there. So kind of the reasoning for that was being low, I wanted to create like a draft. We're gonna get cooler air coming into the front, and up higher in the back it's gonna push that hot air out the back. And I've noticed a little bit of that, but the windows are definitely small for how big the greenhouse is. So I'm thinking up in that middle portion here, I'm gonna have to put a really big window to really be able to vent this hot air and get it really up high towards the ceiling. And then I'll probably do the same thing over the door there. And then just having the door open obviously helps too. So I just did a screen door and then covered it with greenhouse plastic. And then we can just take the greenhouse plastic off during the spring and summer, and it will help ventilate a bunch more. Let's see. Yeah, so how I attached everything was the plastic was we obviously built the structure, and then I used this wiggle wire channel and wiggle wire. So you attach the channel to your structure, and then you pull your plastic and you start installing this wiggle wire in there, and it holds your plastic in that channel really tight. So that's what is physically holding all of the plastic on the greenhouse now. So on the outside here, there's that wiggle wire channel goes all the way around and then all the way up. And how you want to do this is you put basically your walls on first. So this wall went on, the back wall went on, and it all attaches into that channel up there. And then we put the basically our roof and side walls. This is all one piece of plastic, but we did the second, and then that attaches into the same channel up there that runs over the whole thing. So there's actually 2 layers of plastic, which is where you get your seal, and then there's 2 pieces of wiggle wire, as you can see, and that keeps everything really tight. And then we obviously did a row of wiggle wire and wiggle wire channel on the bottom to seal it to the rock wall. I'm thinking I might have to put some more supports in here. It's good now, it holds well, it's very wind resistant. Heavy rains, no problem, but I gotta see how we look with some snow load on it, which may kind of change the game and have to put some more supports in it, which is no big deal, and that's fine. Let's see what else we can talk about. Let's look at the shelves in here. So the shelves is another key thing to be able to get as many plants as I can in here. So as you can see, just having all of these bigger 1 gallon and 3 gallon pots on the floor, pretty much the whole floor space is full other than walkways. So I knew going into it, all these little 1/2 gallon bags that I've got needed to go on shelves. So what I did was I made these bent plates out of steel flat bar, put holes in them where I knew all the wood was gonna have to hit, and then anchored them to our structure here. And then obviously you have holes here, and this is what I attached this pressure treated 2x6. I did 2 layers with a slot in the middle so it can drain water, but I can fit 3 bags deep on here. And this kind of allowed us to put 2 layers of shelves here and just fill them with all of our smaller stuff. And I think I did the math, and it didn't double our floor space, but I think it gave us an extra third added of just floor space being raised up. And then later on there's room to put another shelf in here if we really feel the need to. And then all we did was just get this little step stool from Lowe's that we can that we just climb up, and it's got really wide steps, and we can get up to everything to be able to pull weeds like this, and check everything out in water. So the shelves worked out really well. I really like how the rock walls turned out too. I'm not a professional stonemason, but I kind of learned all this as I went, and I don't know, I think it looks pretty slick, and for doing it myself, it turned out well. But definitely happy with how the whole greenhouse turned out, and yeah, I hope you enjoy it. I'll try to do some more videos. Oh, here's one more thing, is the floor. So I was gonna do just gravel floor, and then I noticed a lot of weeds were popping up, and being in the greenhouse, it's crazy how much stuff does grow faster than just even being literally right outside. So weeds obviously grow faster too. So laying down this this weed landscape fabric was critical, and I got like kind of the higher grade. It's that woven plastic one. And talking to an old nursery grower who's been greenhouse growing for a bunch of years in North Carolina, highly recommended to put the landscape fabric down, because that's going to catch the sun too, and heat up the floor, especially having the gravel under it. It's going to transfer that heat to the gravel, and then after the sun goes down, you know, it's going to slowly release that heat back into the greenhouse too. So it's just another added feature to try to keep everything warm in here when it gets really cold. And the last thing we're going to do is I've got a propane heater that we'll use if it gets really cold in here, and I need to get a multi-sensor weather station, and I'm going to put at least one sensor in here, and then obviously some outside, so I can monitor the temperature and keep track of everything. But yeah, that's the greenhouse so far, and thanks for watching, and I'll keep posting some more videos.